Wake up. Wake up. It's Thursday. Actually, no, what am I saying? It's, well, actually, for you, it is Thursday. For me, today's Wednesday, but this video will be, well, whatever. Plan for today this morning is going to be chest. I think I'm officially going to go hard into the legs once a week approach. And I'll explain that in a moment. Okay, let's just, when I'm bulking up, I can hit my legs so hard that they need a week for me to come back and like hit a big set of squat and some subsequent leg press volume. And when I'm dieting, when I still hit my legs pretty hard, I'm not annihilating them, but I still hit them, you've seen it for the most part. They end up taking a week just because I'm not eating enough food to really ramp up my recovery. So, yeah, I think it would make sense that your legs gets, let's call it a higher intensity training with slightly lower frequency. And that's kind of what I'm doing for the last year and a half or so anyway. But usually I kind of make what today would have been kind of like a hamstring only, like little scrappy half rest day. I think by half-assing a rest day and subsequently doing like just a light squeezing hamstring day, I'm getting the worst of both worlds. So I'd rather jump straight to chest and get the loop cycle through again, and then when I need a real full rest day, take it when necessary. But all that tells me is that within probably 45 minutes of getting into the gym this morning, I want to have my chest as pumped as freaking possible. I might throw in a little bit of shoulders, just a teensy bit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But last chest day was on the heftier side. I think it was... What did I do on the last chest day? Was the last chest day in Gold's gym? Gold, yeah, I think so. And that was decently heavy, I think. I don't remember. Well, either way, I'm going to warm up, get my rotator cuffs loose, do a couple of rows, couple of hand over hand crossover presses, push downs, curls, rotator cuff, everything. Just get my entire upper body, especially everything that connects to the shoulder joint, warm and ready. And then in doing that warm up, I'll get the signs. I'll be given a signal. Hey, you might not want to hit the 150s this morning. Hey, you might want to chill out, do some more squeezing based cable work. Or, hey man, you're feeling like a freak today. 150s for 20, make that shit happen. So, I'll see what happens. It's not playing it by ear so much as it is playing it by feel. And the benefit of doing that, at least, apart from the fact that, now your routine is not so rigid, so you've got to be, on it with making sure you're still bringing it. But I think the benefit is twofold. One, on the days where you're really prepped, you can bring it extra hard, and you do bring it extra hard. But on the days where something's off, you also know when to let off the gas, right? I'm talking Niki Lauda on that in that movie with Brad Pitt. You know what I'm saying, right? Sometimes it's a little too dangerous to race in the rain, just as it's a little bit too dangerous to bench when you already feel a little tweak in your pec, or some shit like that. But if I had to guess, based on how I feel right now, I could see a little bit more light squeezing. I could see a little more light squeezing for today, but I'm not locked into that, to that thought. I could actually see how things actually feel. But it's been like 2 weeks since I've been back in the Salmon Gym. We're gonna be traveling a little bit for this next month. It's gonna be a bit busy. First on the agenda being the Fit Expo in Anaheim. So 29th to the 30th. Obviously that doesn't give you a lot of lead time because today's the 26th or the 27th for you. So that's only 2 days, 2 days lead. But if you're around, like if you're a few hour drive away, I think that's a spur of the moment. Let's go down to Anaheim, California and check this thing out and just see what the deal is. Depending on who you want to see, like if you wanted to meet the Trend Twins, there's going to be a big ass line. So, you you got to think about that. Like, okay, do I want to sit in line for however many hours so I can meet this dude and get a picture with him, and for them have them rip your sleeves off of your t-shirt, or do you kind of want to just spend the day walking around looking at all the crazy shit that's at the expo? So it's kind of a give and take. But yeah, if you've never been to one, I would highly recommend it. And you don't even have to be a gym nut. You know, people who aren't even into the gym, I think would still get a kick out of walking around a fitness expo for a couple hours, just because it's so crazy. And you get to see the wildest people walking around. It's not like, just the people who have booths are big. Dude, there's fucking beasts what's the word? There's just beasts roaming the expo hall. They're just walking around. It's like freaking nuts. But yeah, I'm already getting excited for that. So that's going to be a couple day endeavor, but that'll be fun. So I don't know what number my booth is. The way that they do it is usually they make a map to show where everybody's is, and it has a corresponding number. But I will be there pretty freaking much the whole time, barring some meals and some bathroom trips. That's the only thing I got on the agenda. So that's gonna be cool. That is gonna be freaking cool. But yeah, nothing else to say. I'm gonna get some music bumping, and let's just get ready to pump up chest. Confirmed, today is just gonna be get a squeezing pump. No 150s, no 3-plate Smith. Let's just get some burning, squeezing stuff. So, I don't know who I saw this from, or if I saw this from anybody, or maybe I just started doing it, but I do not mind this as a squeezing set. So I'm going to stand kind of sideways, so the cable's over here, and I'm doing one arm at a time across the body pressing. Now, this is not a lot of weight. This is only 90 pounds. If I was really trying to wrench it, I bet I could do 200. Now, it'd be dirty, but I could probably move it. But 90... heavy enough I can feel it, but light enough I can still really squeeze it. And this is almost like starting my tricep day with rope extensions, right? Like, I'm not going to start with heavy, crazy dips. For one, I'm not warm, but also, right, my elbows are probably going to feel pretty tender. But if I start with light rope extensions, where the weight isn't what's really driving the difficulty, it's more like that hold and squeeze and burn, I like starting chest off the same way, which is very different than I used to do it, a couple of years ago. Well, let's go 5 on either side. Good squeeze, good hold, kind of quick. And I'm not trying to use any front delt. I could see how you could, but what I'm really thinking is like elbow pit to opposite pec. Like, that's this sensation. And I'm not trying to keep my hand over, pronated either. I'm trying to press in a little bit of a supinated fashion, and then it just helps me only squeeze my chest. But with some shit like this, I swear I feel this upper quadrant of pec a lot. And that's what I want. I want this section up in here to start to overflow. Like, I want it to get to the point where like imagine if my collar was like this, because it's running into my chest from being so thick. I don't know if I'll get to that level, but let it lift a dream. Okay, I'll go a little heavier. This still isn't heavy, but a little heavier. Okay. One more. Yeah. 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 So this is definitely a little funky, but personally, I really like it. So if you've been watching for a while, and it's not every chest day, I throw this in very sparingly, but you can grab 2 dumbbells. For me, I'm grabbing like 50s, but if you got to do 25s, that's cool too. Hang them in front of your body, touching your thighs, and you drag the dumbbell across, almost like you're doing the opposite of a side lateral. So if a side lateral is up to here, well, now you're just dragging one dumbbell the other way around. And I can squeeze the shit out of my chest. So since today's a light squeezing day, I saw this Arsenal side lateral machine. And if you stand on it crooked, or not crooked, but offset, well, then now you basically have that same motion. Where it's like I wouldn't call it a complete movement because it's not a big stretch, but the squeeze is so good that I think it's solid. So this is essentially like a cable fly, but it's just this section beyond a typical rep. So, I'll stand a little crooked, but I'm really just trying to squeeze this upper inner quadrant of my chest. And if I can feel that burning, well, then I'm freaking in the green. So let's see, is this too heavy? Go a little heavier. Don't forget, you're stronger than you think on some shit. Don't be afraid to push it. You can always make the light weighter. You can always make the weight lighter, right? But you can't suddenly go back in time and make all your workouts heavier. Something to think about. Yeah. Yeah, okay, one more. Yeah. Yeah. Boy. Oh, a little heavier. Just, actually, a lot heavier. 2 notches. Let's rip the stack for this one. And if you do want to try this as a tip, try not to put the force through like the top of your hand like that, or else it kind of starts to get some front delt involved. I'm almost trying to put all my force through like this lower palm section, because the more pronated you are, I've noticed with some machines, you get less front delt. And I'm already prone to this. No good. So I want only my chest working here. I don't need any more activation front delt wise. Okay. One. All right, I would not be surprised if I only have 2 more of these. And today is meant to be like a light day. I could tell I slept in with necessity this morning from, yesterday was arms. It wasn't even that crazy of a lift. Yeah, I think I'm just about at the end of this dieting phase. And we can talk about this a little bit more in a minute at the end. But, I mean, let's be real. I haven't been fully legit bulked, like long-term growing phase, for like 1.5 years-ish, right? Because I was done with my previous bulk starting my last prep in like August, just about August-ish, full prep to March. I did have a month where I ate a bunch of shit, but then went back to dieting because I didn't want to soften myself up too much for the summer. So let's say the tides are turning. The stars are aligning. They're not fully aligned, but they're nearly in order for a goddamn you-know-what. But let's squeeze this shit here. Only 100 pounds. And this will be that hand-over-hand style I like. There we go. Yeah. 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 Aye. Oh. All right. Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. Let's see, we're looking pumped. Yeah, so when it comes to my current level of leanness, obviously I'm quite happy. But do not forget, right, maintaining a leaner build, right? I mean, I'm not bone dry peeled, but even at this leanness level, I'm not really growing substantially, if at all, right? So, if you want to get your freaking, I was about to say a car reference, but it doesn't actually translate. You got to put gas in the tank if you want to make shit happen. Let's put it like that. So I've been running on empty for quite a while. I think I'm getting close to ready to really start packing on some size. But here's the problem. Once I start doing that, all of this cool crap in here will start to soften up. But you got to remember, if you can't let it go, it's not worth holding on to. So for me with the gym, I like it back and forth, right? I like a period of time of leanness. And by the time I've had my fill of this lean period, then it's time to start grubbing, pack some size on. Then I get sick of being bulked and I go back. And for me, that sort of mountainous trend does well. But let's see how we're looking here. Yeah, that's a good spot. Let's see. What am I missing? I can't even hardly hit a side tricep because my chest is so tight. I can't reach around my freaking back. How about we hit a back pose? All right. Now, time for a certain 30 minutes on the you-know-what. So, I'll see you back in the car. There we go. All right, some time has passed. Had to get on a little call, and I have not fixed my gym Wi-Fi. I got to call Spectrum, so I had to drive to where I had service. No bueno. But actually, what am I saying? No bueno. All bueno. We all good. We all stinking good. So, plan now. What exactly is the plan now? The plan now is to get some food into my system. That is 100% sure. And then beyond that, probably some more fluids. I've still got my jug. I've still got my jug with me, of course. But, it's already freaking half drank. And I didn't even fill this thing up all the way because I ran out of my little flavor packets. So, by the time I finish this, I will only be about a half a gallon deep into the day, which, for noonish, that's cool. But honestly, by noon, I want to be closer to a gallon deep. Now, some are going to comment, that's too much water. What are you doing? You don't need to drink that much. You're peeing for no reason. And yeah, you're probably right. But, okay. Now, I'm just saying, tell me the sweet spot. How much water is really perfect? Right? Can you tell me with 100% certainty what amount of water per day that you actually need? Right? I don't think so. I think we can say a guess. Like, if I drink a gallon by the end of the day, I'm probably good. But if I drink 2, I know I'm good. I know that I'm good for sure. And you just kind of feel better, you know. I'll say this, if you're like, there's a lot of like, anytime, especially when I'm dieted, I will actually notice if I eat a lot of salty, greasy foods, I will feel like I'm kind of bloated in the sense of just holding more water in my sort of skin layer, just because you're all the saturated fats and the salts make you kind of just retain water like that. So when I'm drinking a ton of extra fluids, it sort of balances you out. So I mean, how I look at it, more water the better, just because you're always going to be at least around whatever I would call the sweet spot is of your electrolyte balance. And I used to think, if you got a gallon, that gallon better be full of electrolyte packets. I'm not such a diehard electrolyte packet guy now. Because, I mean, you get so much salt in your food, you're basically good. You're honestly probably freaking fine. So I'd say it's just a rule. If you could get a gallon, you're golden. If you can get 2, it's not going to hurt either. I definitely don't. I do get a little annoyed when I see the comment like, that's actually way too much water. Like, you get. It's like, what do you think is going to happen, bro? You're just going to end up peeing a little bit more than normal, right? And for me, it's like, if you're peeing clear, you're good. If you're peeing extra yellow or kind of darkish, I think your fluid game is not on the point that it should be. So that's my rule of thumb. And I mean, more water the better. It's not a bad rule, I don't think. So good chest day. Tomorrow with back, also going to be light squeezing, nothing wild. Same thing with arms subsequently after that. Just, I mean, I'm going to get a solid lift and a good pump, but instead of like curling the 70s like last arm day, I'll tone it down a little bit and we'll just stick to like the 50s or below, that sort of range. And it's good going back and forth like that. If you have a big ass heavy lift for one muscle group, and the next time you come back and you tone it down a little bit, do more squeezing stuff, I think that's kind of a good alternating approach. I think if you go light every time, if you're dieting and you're just trying to reduce your fatigue buildup while you maintain muscle and burn your fat off, that's pretty damn legit. But if you're bulking up, I mean, for every crazy heavy day, have a nice light day as well. And that is a cool green Stang. Hell yeah. Hell freaking yeah. Man, I'm just feeling good right now. I saw one comment yesterday that was kind of funny, because I was talking about how I've been going out in the sun, and the comment just goes, yeah, it's hard to talk about how cool the sun is without sounding like a hippie. Which I do see the logic of. But yeah, I mean, just some nice weather. I like this. We're in a good phase right now. And I think I feel extra good about it just due to the fact that it has been so gross for the last 2 weeks here in Ohio, that just decent weather is feeling extra good. It's like you value something more once you lose it type situation. So yeah, it's not like I'm gonna be pissed off once it starts snowing and cooling off. But some of even just going to California, everybody over there is gonna be freaking hot, warm, just like a little humid. I don't know, it depends on the day, but just pretty much on the warmer side of things, just 24/7, 365. And I see the appeal, but I like when it gets snowy. It's a good phase, things come in and out. Makes the year feel more complete. I think if I lived in Florida or something where it's just pretty much the same weather constantly, I know it's not the exact same, but pretty much the same, I think I might get tired of it. Or I might adapt to it and then I won't even worry about it. Either freaking one. But yeah, plan now, get home, get some food, get some sun, pet all the critters. Hell yeah. That's a good Wednesday to me. So I'll see you tomorrow.